We are starting our Crown Chakra series with none other than diamond. Such a beautiful frequency to kickstart this journey, to open, to activate and initiate this next stage of opening and coming into that cosmic realm of the all, of connecting with that unified field and the great cosmic web of life. So diamond not only is a stone that holds the whole rainbow spectrum just in its very nature. It's the way it sparkles. You know, when we think of diamonds, we liken them to the glistening light that carries across the sea. You know, they have that specific purity of light, and for good reason, because of the way that they formed. So diamonds, like all minerals, have been created through great heat and great pressure within the earth. But what sets diamonds apart is that, unlike quartz or other silicon-based minerals and crystals, diamonds are actually made purely of carbon. I think they're 99.95% carbon, and any other small percentage of other minerals that are present is what really lends to their slight variance in colors, because you can find, you know, pink diamonds or other various tones of diamonds, which depends on the minerals in the area that they've grown. But ultimately, diamonds are pure carbon, and carbon, like, based on the laws of science, carbon is an organic matter that sort of indicates a life form. So it's the closest to, you know, a living crystal, even though, of course, you know, all things are living and have their have an energetic signature, but based on scientific understanding, anything that is carbon based is a living being. So it's a really interesting way when you think about that something like carbon, which we really visualize as like a lump of coal, something that's super dense and dark organic matter deep within the earth mantle, is put under so much pressure and heat that it actually evacuates through lava tubes, through tunnels, and that's how diamonds are formed, through that incredible outward pouring of volcanic activity. And it's interesting because that, you know, like that saying that we hear is, you know, the greater the pressure, the brighter the diamond. And ultimately it's like a reflection of us and our soul's journey in this life. You know, there's not really any of us that get through life without, you know, being knocked over one time or many more. You know, it seems like some people have perhaps a harder journey than others. However, you know, when you meet someone who has really walked through the fire and come out the other side, because they have this purity of spirit about them. There's something about enduring great challenge and being able to see the light of day on the other side. There is a brightness to their soul, and it's really an interesting kind of correlation. When I always love to look at that doctrine of signatures. So what happens in the formation of the crystals, or how they actually show up to us, how they show us how they look, their color, their shape, but also their formation mainly, is really gives us an indication of seeing ourselves in that crystal, that mirror. And yeah, diamonds are a beautiful example of what it is to walk through challenge and to be able to keep smiling, basically, to keep shining despite all the ups and downs. And, you know, it's really a frequency that transcends. There has a transcendent nature of being able to walk through a storm. So yeah, it's really beautiful. Also, the fact that it has that whole idea of dark and light in balance, because once we start working with the upper realms, and specifically the head and the crown, we're working with also our brain, our nervous system, all of our electrical circuitry. So, we have within us not only that yin and yang, that masculine feminine aspect of self, but we have our left and right sides, our right brain, our left brain. We have the light and dark. We have all of the opposites that exist within this being, and the frequency of diamond is what actually merges it all together. It's like once we are in this space, we're in this merging our lower worlds and our upper worlds. We're merging our left and our right. We're coming into a unified space where everything can exist, where the dark can exist within the light and the light can exist within the dark. It's really a space where all is welcome and all is one. And the other thing that's also interesting when we're looking at the formation of the crystal and the process it's gone through is that diamonds are the hardest substance known to man. I think it's as far as crystals and minerals go, it's like 10 on the Mohs scale, which is like super hard. I think most quartz crystals are around a 7, and diamonds, because they are so hard, they're used in industrial processes to sharpen, to cut, to everything from like stone to glass to metals. That's how strong these stones have been forged. So ultimately it's like life could make us hard as well, but if we can also be hard and light at the same time, let this paradox exist in the oneness. It's almost like the merging of opposites. It's like is unbreakable. You become unbreakable once you've moved through the alchemy, the forging of the journey. We come into this space where it's like nothing. We become untouchable once we connect with the spirit of the one and the oneness of all. It's like there becomes no death, there becomes no separation. There is nothing really outside of us that's not inside of us. And that's a frequency that diamond holds. Because it's also a carbon-based mineral life form, it is also like holding that darkness within inside the luminosity of this stone. It is very absorbent. So just as crystals like clear quartz and other silicon-based minerals will reflect light, like a lot of the black or dark crystals that I've spoken about in the lower chakras, diamond actually absorbs. So it's really interesting because we think of these bright shiny crystals as this like shining light out there, but no, it's drawing light into it and through it. So when we see it like from the perspective of how it's acting in our crown chakra, it's actually drawing to it. It's opening and drawing the light in, bringing the light in through our crowns into our bodies. So it's really beautiful to just acknowledge the qualities of crystals, and they really inform how they work and just really mirror the path of our own forging, our own alchemy. And it's also a frequency that is very much attuned to the whales and dolphins and the beings of the oceans as well. So, I mentioned that diamond light on the face of the ocean. I always think of diamonds when I see whales, and right now in Byron Bay we have a lot of whales moving up and down the coast. So the frequency in the air becomes very light. There's a certain feeling we get when you're around these great wise beings that are connected to the ocean of consciousness. The ocean is just like the universe, and these beings are just like cruising through this field of infinite depths. So it's definitely a frequency and a contact stone, and anyone that's had the opportunities to spend time with the whales know how deeply you can be transformed in this frequency. It's also really interesting when we're thinking about diamonds being generally like on a social kind of historical nature, being the stones that are most commonly used in rings, wedding rings, especially with the understanding that it's about capturing energy, it's about drawing energy, absorbing energy. So, you know, when someone wants to have ownership over someone, give them a diamond, you know, because a diamond is like, you're mine now. So it's it's an interesting way to look at it as well. I would definitely think twice about, like, you know, who you receive a diamond from. But you know, that's just my superstition, but it's certainly a beautiful frequency, and it holds not only a vast amount of light, but also the ability to draw and absorb. So it can be used in healing also, to absorb life force out of disease pathways, specifically tumours and cancers. So it's quite a potent healer when programmed specifically at targeted areas. So the way that we're working with it is purely to open, activate, and initiate the absorbing of light into our own bodies, to expand our light body, to open the doorway that is already there. That is our birthright, to be connected in with these frequencies of light. But just through life, through challenges, through modern living, we do become disconnected. We do, you know, we get around, you know, wearing shoes that block our connection with the earth, and we're bombarded by frequencies all the time. So quite often our channel can be a little bit shut down. So this is just opening and establishing that connection that is how we're designed to live and be connected to. So that is the first frequency, the first crystal that we'll be opening with, and we'll see you in the next video. Full of light.